For decades, the story of Karen Carpenter has remained one of the most heartbreaking chapters in music history. Her unforgettable voice, gentle personality, and remarkable success as one half of the sibling duo the Carpenters made her a beloved figure around the world. Yet behind the chart-topping hits and sold-out concerts was a woman struggling with pressures few people fully understood. More than 40 years after Karen's tragic passing, her brother, Richard Carpenter, has once again reflected on their journey together, revealing emotions and memories that have remained buried for decades.
At 79 years old, Richard Carpenter is one of the last people alive who witnessed every stage of Karen's rise to fame. From their childhood in Connecticut to international superstardom, he stood beside his sister through every triumph and challenge. While he has spoken publicly about Karen before, those closest to the family say there were always certain feelings he struggled to express. The pain of losing a sister, musical partner, and best friend was something that never truly faded, no matter how much time passed. Karen Carpenter possessed a voice unlike any other. Music critics frequently praised her warm contralto vocals, describing them as comforting, emotional, and instantly recognizable. Fans connected with her sincerity, believing every word she sang. Songs such as Close to You, We've Only Just Begun, and Rainy Days and Mondays became timeless classics. Together, Karen and Richard created a sound that defined an era and continues to inspire musicians today. But fame came at a cost. As the Carpenters' popularity grew throughout the 1970s, Karen faced increasing scrutiny from the media. Her appearance became a topic of discussion in magazines and newspapers. What many people saw as harmless commentary slowly contributed to deeper personal struggles. At the time, public understanding of eating disorders was limited, and many warning signs were overlooked. Richard has often reflected on how little people understood about anorexia during those years. Today, medical professionals recognize it as a serious and potentially life-threatening illness. However, in the 1970s, awareness was far less developed. Family members, friends, and even healthcare providers sometimes failed to recognize the severity of the condition until it had progressed significantly. According to those who knew the siblings, Richard spent years wondering whether more could have been done to help Karen. It is a question that has haunted many families who have lost loved ones to illness. Looking back, he has acknowledged that there were moments when the warning signs seemed obvious in hindsight but were difficult to fully understand in real time. The bond between Karen and Richard extended far beyond music. They shared childhood memories, family experiences, and dreams of success. Together they transformed their passion for music into one of the most successful recording careers of the 20th century. Their unique sibling connection helped shape the emotional authenticity that audiences heard in every performance. Friends who worked closely with the Carpenters often described Karen as humble despite her fame. She rarely acted like a celebrity and preferred spending time with family and close friends. Richard has repeatedly emphasized this side of her personality, noting that she remained remarkably grounded even as the group's success expanded internationally. As years passed after Karen's death, Richard dedicated himself to preserving her legacy. He carefully managed archives, released remastered recordings, and participated in documentaries celebrating the Carpenters' music. Yet many observers noticed that discussions about Karen often carried a sense of unfinished grief. Losing someone so young left emotional wounds that never completely healed. Industry insiders say Richard sometimes struggled with the way Karen's story was told in the media. While her battle with anorexia became widely known, he wanted people to remember her extraordinary talent rather than define her solely by her illness. For him, Karen was not simply a tragic figure. She was a gifted musician, a loving sister, and an artist whose work continues to touch millions. One truth Richard has repeatedly emphasized is that Karen's life cannot be reduced to a single chapter. While her illness became a major part of public discussions after her death, it represented only one aspect of a much larger and richer story. She experienced joy, creativity, humor, ambition, and tremendous professional success. Remembering those qualities remains important to preserving her true legacy. Many fans who discover the Carpenters today are surprised by how modern Karen's voice sounds. Decades after her recordings were first released, they continue to resonate with listeners across generations. Streaming platforms have introduced her music to younger audiences who were not alive during the duo's peak years. Richard has expressed gratitude that Karen's artistry remains relevant and appreciated. The emotional weight of carrying family memories alone can be difficult. As time passes, surviving relatives often become guardians of stories that only they remember. Richard now occupies that role. With many of the people who knew Karen closely no longer alive, he has become one of the primary voices preserving her history. Those who have followed Richard's interviews over the years notice a recurring theme: gratitude mixed with sadness. He remains thankful for the success they achieved together, but deeply aware of everything that was lost. Karen's death ended not only a family relationship, but also a unique musical partnership that could never be replaced. Music historians frequently speculate about what Karen Carpenter might have accomplished had she lived longer. Some believe she would have pursued more solo projects. Others imagine she might have explored different musical styles or become a mentor to younger artists. While such questions can never be answered, they highlight the immense potential that remained unrealized. Richard has occasionally shared memories that reveal Karen's playful side. Away from cameras and recording studios, she enjoyed laughter, practical jokes, and ordinary family moments. These personal recollections help paint a fuller picture of a woman, often remembered primarily through headlines about her tragic death. The impact of Karen's passing extended far beyond her immediate family. Fans around the world mourned her loss, while the medical community increasingly recognized the need for greater awareness surrounding eating disorders. In many ways, her story contributed to important conversations about health, body image, and mental well-being. Over the decades, countless documentaries, books, and television programs have explored Karen's life. Yet Richard's perspective remains uniquely valuable because he experienced events firsthand. He witnessed the excitement of their breakthrough success and the private struggles that followed. His memories provide insight unavailable from any other source. Many people assume that grief eventually disappears with time. Those who have experienced profound loss often know otherwise. The pain may become easier to manage, but it rarely vanishes completely. Richard's reflections suggest that Karen's absence remains a deeply felt reality even after more than 4 decades. Fans continue to visit memorial sites, collect albums, and celebrate anniversaries connected to the Carpenters' career. Their music remains a source of comfort for listeners facing challenges in their own lives. Richard has often expressed appreciation for this enduring connection between Karen and her audience. One of the most striking aspects of Karen's legacy is the emotional honesty present in her performances. Even listeners who know little about her personal story often feel a strong connection to her voice. Transcends generations and cultural boundaries. As Richard has grown older, conversations about legacy have naturally become more important. He understands that future generations will learn about Karen primarily through recordings, documentaries, and historical accounts. Ensuring those accounts reflect her true character has become one of his priorities. Friends describe Richard as someone who takes this responsibility seriously. He has spent years organizing archival material and preserving recordings so that Karen's work can continue reaching new audiences. His efforts have helped maintain interest in the Carpenters long after many of their contemporaries faded from public memory. The story of the Carpenters is ultimately one of remarkable achievement, mixed with profound tragedy. Few musical acts have enjoyed such widespread success while simultaneously enduring such personal hardship. This contrast continues to fascinate fans and historians alike. For Richard, however, Karen's story is not merely history, it is deeply personal. Every song, photograph, and interview carries memories of someone he loved. Public discussions may focus on statistics, album sales, or cultural impact, but his perspective remains rooted in family. When he reflects on Karen today, Richard often emphasizes her kindness. Success never changed her essential nature. She treated people with respect, valued genuine relationships, and remained devoted to those she cared about. These qualities, he believes, deserve as much attention as her musical accomplishments. Younger generations encountering Karen Carpenter's music for the first time may be unaware of the challenges she faced. They hear only the beauty of her voice and the emotional depth of her performances. In some ways, that is exactly how Richard hopes she will be remembered. The passage of time has transformed Karen from a contemporary celebrity into a cultural icon. Yet icons can sometimes lose their humanity as stories become simplified. Richard's reflections serve as a reminder that behind the